So my name is Yinka Ewuola, and I run Cala Success Systems. And my mission is to help women in business to build thriving and profitable businesses, but while living full, fab and nourishing lives.
We've not been working together 2 months, if I'm right. It's been a very short amount of time. Prior to us working together, and you're in my Accelerator course, where would you say the gap was? Because you're very capable in so many areas, but where was the knowledge gap before we started our journey?
Well, I've been learning about sales marketing, this area for a long time. So it wasn't so much a knowledge gap, or it wasn't very big gaps. It was kind of tiny little holes around things like what to do in the DMs was one that I would say would probably constitute a gap, not least because I'm very introverted. So my idea was, while I don't mind posting, although you rarely see, pictures or videos of me personally, but the need to turn, speaking to lots of people into individual, tailored and beneficial bespoke conversations was one that I definitely wanted more support on. And the other area, I would say, thinking about the habits, the success habits. Yes. So what I wanted to create was successful habits that could turn lots of action into impactful results, and that's what I'm finding from the
Amazing
experience.
Okay, so when we started, there's the course and then there's the calls and so on, but also we actually began work in a weird way through I did a talk in a group and you saw it. How have I actually helped your business then directly, would you say?
So what I will say is, like you said, we've not been working together very long at all, but what I will also say up front is you put money in my pocket before I gave you money. So it was that free talk that you gave. There were two key areas that you spoke about around framing, talking about the elegance of the expression of how you deliver the solutions that you offer. It was those two keys, and not because I didn't listen to the rest of what you said. I listened to everything. Those two areas, I was then able to implement that into, well, first of all, I pivoted someone out of my DMs for the first, one of the first times, pivoted to a call, and I actually, closed on the call, and it was things that I knew were possible. They just weren't things that I put as part of my repertoire. I thought that you had to be more extroverted or more, I had forgotten the fact that these were learnable skills. Just, the information, that the value that you gave on that free talk that you gave and the money you put in my pocket, I literally was like, well, if that's what you get for free, then imagine the value you get to join the Accelerator.
Well, that's good to know. And I must add, I was always in the past quite the introvert. I feel I'm some kind of a omnivert, if there is such a term, but I do think that knowing that there are things you can do and actions you can take and inputs you can put in that have an outcome means you can almost craft out those deals, even if it's not necessarily who you might feel you are. But yeah, and it's nice to know you don't have to be this super alpha extrovert in order for it to work. So have you made any money? That's what people really want to know from being a LinkedIn client accelerator, which is focusing on content and LinkedIn and building your brand and all of that, but most importantly, front and center is conversion and the art of doing that in the right way.
Absolutely. Yes, I as I said, I made money before. I made more money than I gave you before I gave you any money, and have continued to surprise myself and, blow, previous records out of the water, and also be able to develop other strategies to create different price points, different opportunities and offers. In short, in what is traditionally perceived as, a quiet month or half a month, or, the period where people are slowing down.
You're talking about for future listeners, you're talking about December and Christmas.
Yeah, yeah. I got better results in a week in December than, 2-3 months before the entire month. And that's actually what I'm finding as well, is that the results are accelerating and the conversions are accelerating and the money's accelerating. So
I think you said there's a deal a day this week so far. So
yeah. So
I'm Friday, just for the record. It's not like Tuesday. And you don't have. You don't need to give any specific details. But I think December ended up being like a 5-figure month. Is that right for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Ideal client, but also ideal client responses. These women were over the moon to find what I'm offering, to give me that money. They, you know, bending over backwards to cheer and to join in and to do the work, and, you know, incredible value, you know, that they, and they're just so excited. So they are the kinds of clients that everybody says they want. And again, that's out of the ideas of the frames and how things have been framed, but also the opportunity to really understand more about how to outline a show and ensure that they know the value that they're getting. So it's it's been unbelievable.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because making money is all well and good, but making it with people who want to buy from you and feel good about the relationship, so you actually can't wait to speak with them, that's how it should be. And I think that's what we really try and focus on as well, isn't it?
Absolutely. And, you know, all money's not good money. Someone on LinkedIn told me I was too stuck up, which I love. And as you can see, I wear it with pride. I absolutely choose who I work with. I don't work with who I don't want to work with. You cannot buy my peace of mind. And so I'm always very careful and selective about who I bring into my space. You know, everyone around you is either inspiring or expiring you. I cannot invite people into my space to expire me. Yeah. And so I'm very selective. But for that reason, you know, I love working with the people that I work with because I choose those people.
Just to finish then, and thank you for all of this so far, aside from what you've already shared, what do you really like about the group or the course itself? Is there anything in particular that stands out to you that you really feel is gives you good values, aside from what you've already said?
One thing I love, and again, because I'm an eternal scholar, I love the observational learning that comes from the group calls. I think I definitely believe that the power of your kind of results begins with the value and the quality of the questions you ask. So listening to other people's questions and listening to you answer that, they are, sometimes my mind is so blown and I'm like, there's so much value in hearing what they are thinking and kind of where their challenges are. A few times I've come away with so much value from answers to questions that you asked that I didn't ask, that were asked of you that I didn't ask. So that observational learning is really powerful, but also the emphasis on action. And I, you know, it's always been intrinsic to the work that I do, but it's also intrinsic to how you run the accelerator. You're never giving us just theory. You're never saying, go away and think about this. You're, even in the advice that you give, you say, think about this and then do this. Then take this action, then take this step, then test this. It's a real camaraderie of action takers, and that I've been on many courses, and that is actually quite rare.
Thank you. Yeah, I work very hard to only allow in the right people, because mindset and attitude and the community matters. We're quite a family now, which is really awesome. I really like that vibe. Thank you. You're so kind with a lot of things you've said here. I really appreciate it. And here's to more success like this, and even greater, I hope.